What is up, guys? Happy Saturday. So today I'm going to be changing my transmission fluid on the Z06, and I'm going to put in some Synchromesh. I've used this before on a T56, my GTO, and I absolutely loved it. I'm not sure how old the transmission fluid is in this car. I recently got it. I'm not quite sure. I did the rear end fluid last weekend. I did not film that. I apologize, but that was really gross. So I'm going to do the transmission change this weekend. Pretty straightforward job. I've done this on quite a few Corvettes. Fill plug, drain plug, and that's about it. And you're going to need a pump too. This car, the T56, calls for exactly 4 quarts, and the rear end, if you're doing that, takes 1.7 quarts. Last night I was kind of bored, and I should have filmed this, but I didn't. The fronts, whoever had the car, already lowered them on the stock bolts all the way. The back was not touched. I thought that was kind of weird, so I went ahead and lowered them as much as I could. And I also adjusted the e-brake by taking off the wheel and the rotor, and there's a little, I guess you call it like a clock spring. You just kind of rotate it clockwise, a few revolutions, and it tightened it up just fine. So let's go ahead and get into changing this transmission fluid. It's pretty straightforward, but I'll show you guys what you got to do. Okay, underneath the car here, the drain plug is right here. And this is on the starboard side, because right there where your sensor is, and that's on the driver's side. And also you can see all the clamps I did for the exhaust. Much better situation now. Any questions about those, let me know, and I'll tell you what I did. So, for this, you're just going to use an adjustable wrench. Take that off. Always undo your fill plug first, because if you do your drain, and it can't get your fill off, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead, take the sensor off, unscrew that, come down here with your 3/8 drive, just a 3/8 drive. You don't need a socket itself, just I don't know if you can see this. Where the hell's the camera at? All you need is right here, this guy. This right there, it's gonna go in there. Boop. You're gonna undo it, and it's gonna drain, and then we're going to fill it up with our pump, and we're pretty much done. Alright, so we're draining now. It looks like it wasn't changed too long ago. It's got either red line or some basic ATF in it. I'm not a huge fan of whatever's in there. It's not bad, it just doesn't feel buttery smooth like the Synchromesh does. So yeah, it's gotta get it drained and fill her up. Alright, now that I've successfully made a mess all over my floor, I got it all buttoned up with the drain plug. So we're gonna get a little pump out. We're gonna pump in as much as we can coming out of the fill plug, and then we'll button her up. Also, ATF is really good at cleaning your floors. Also, ATF smells like shit, and so does gear oil. I don't know why. Okay, back to the situation. Alright, here's the setup when you're ready to start filling it. You're gonna need one of these pumps. They're really cheap. I think I paid $7 for it. You're just gonna attach it to your bottle, and it has 2 extensions, one for a taller lube oil bottle and one for regular oil. And then yeah, you're gonna put it in your fill plug and then just start pumping. Pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna get this done, and I'll report back when everything's buttoned up. Alright, she's all set. I gotta clean this up a little bit, made a huge mess, of course. Ended up taking about 3.6 quarts, which is much lower than I thought. So, but yeah, that's when it started coming out the fill hole. I know it's at an angle, but given it's at about a 4-degree angle, doing the math, if it was totally level, we're talking about a 0.1 ounce difference. So yeah, it's much lower than what it calls for, which is interesting. Also, as far as the rear end, goes, if you want to change the oil, it's actually much more straightforward. It's the 10mm Allen. That's your fill, and then your drain is right in here, right behind your leaf spring. You can't miss it. Both the same size. Again, undo your fill, drain it, and then fill it until it starts coming out, and then you're all set. And make sure you use a limited slip differential fluid. I'm using Mobile One. It's what, 7590 I think, with the limited slip already added. You can use a different oil, just make sure you have the limited slip added to it. Also, another safety note, when you're doing this job or any job in the rear end, make sure you chalk the front wheels, because your back wheels are off the ground, and if this thing were to slip, it's a bad day. So, alright, let's get everything cleaned up and we'll go for a ride. Alright, let's go for a little drive. See how she does. The steering radius in this car is that of a dump truck. Other news, it's finally warm, so that's nice. Alright, so right away I can tell this thing shifts in the gear so much easier. So much easier. Oh yeah. This is what this transmission is supposed to feel like. So much better. Before we kind of had not fish for a gear, but it was a little hesitant to go in, but now it's just kind of. And while I have you guys here, I was having an annoying engine noise tick, which is very common with the LS type motors, especially with long tubes. And I found a service bulletin put out by GM that says if you still keep your catalytic converters with long tube headers, you are supposed to put restrictor plates in the EGR valve. And the restrictor plates go from, I think it's almost like a 1/2 inch tube down to a 3/16 inch, and that restricts the amount of air going into your air system, and I guess minimizes the amount of ticking echo. I'm not really sure how it works, but it helped a lot. Alright, so far I'm very happy with this fluid. Corvette enthusiasts that are Corvette owners want to get together over the summer. I really want to put something together, some kind of Corvette meet on the East Coast. I'm in the Virginia Beach area, so if that's interesting to anyone watching this, please let me know. Maybe we can get something together between here, Richmond, DC, or something. Hopefully this stupid virus thing will be over sooner than later. Yeah, hit me up in the comments below if you guys want to do something. Get together, or just Corvette enthusiasts in general. So, alright, I'm gonna do one more pull for you guys, and then I am gonna go enjoy my weekend with a beer.